What's up, Goopals? We have Game Guy and Kuvo the Bad Lady here today.
What's up, Phillies and Genitals? It's good to see you again.
Specifically the Phillies and Gentle Coach. That's it. No one else.
Um, we have someone here in the comments. I don't know if I can even pronounce this name well enough.
Oh, okay. She's using that kind of guy. Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like Japanese or at least a part of an anime name. Yeah, I am terrible. Yeah, I'm terrible to pronouncing anime names, and
I mean, it's kind of funny because there's the name Navi in it.
I mean, also being offensive to the people that's in the anime or those who actually pronounce the name well enough. Oh, Ron is here. I'm just saying it. Okay, first, I can't. If I want to pronounce some word, pretty much, if I were to pronounce any word from, say, Japanese, Spanish, or even French, yeah. And if I first pronounce the word for the first time, and if someone who can the language well, either fluently or someone has it like a second language, they are telling me that I did pronounce the name well enough. And even English were considered my second language, and there are still some words that I don't even understand what is actually meaning by language, or even how to pronounce it. Yeah. You know, the word Ben is also a name, but in my country's language, it has a whole different meaning. It actually means bone.
No.
Yeah. I mean, the word Ben can be a name, but in my country, it means bone in translation. Yeah. Navi, yeah, language is hard considering. You know what else is literally? You know what? When it comes to a language that is hard, that would have been extinct language. That's even harder. Okay, first, it depends if the language has been extinct for just say for maybe 100 years, but those languages which had been extinct for let's say like the Sumerian language. That language was actually extinct since at least 4 to almost 5,000 years. And today, there are people, some experts or language experts, who managed to translate the language. It took time. Okay, the Egyptian hieroglyphs. For, for thousands of years, that language was mainly spoken by the ancient Egyptians, like in the during pharaohs and all that. But after the last pharaoh, Cleopatra, when she alleged to commit suicide with the snake, the language, well, the writing language fell of use only sometimes after that, and it wasn't until like in the late 1700s when the language were finally to be an understanding again. Because it was until like when the French, when they tried to conquer, when Napoleon tried to conquer Cairo during his Napoleonic Wars, one of his soldiers found the so-called Rosetta Stone. It had three languages on it: ancient Greek, hieroglyphs, and it's a third language I can't remember what it's actually called. And it was written in the same language as the hieroglyphs, but used in different languages. And since at the time, ancient Greek, the language, was basically understandable, but it took at least, I think it was 15 or 25 years to completely understanding how to pronounce or reading the hieroglyphs. the ancient Egypt's language was now opened a whole new door for us. Because before then, since the language was just a complete mystery, no one actually didn't know how to pronounce the words or what it's actually saying. Because when we unlock the key to being able to translate the hieroglyphs, it opened a whole new door. I mean, it opened us to merely understanding the long ancient history of Egypt, and also being able to, because like, okay, before then, if we never have found if we had never found a stone, we more likely not have been able to find, understand, or to translate King Tut's tomb, or the supposed curses that had been described to be in each tomb. If we didn't understand that language, we would not even our basic understanding of the ancient Egypt's culture, the pharaohs, none of that would not have even understand to this day. Honestly, it would have been weird otherwise, because that is where many people are dedicated to being trying to unlock ancient mysteries keys, like the Egyptians language. Then Latin. Latin is the one language that was also considered is mainly considering it as an extinct language, because Latin during the Roman Empire, Latin was the main language throughout entire Europe, and even to those barbaric tribes, German tribes, that was like, because even though, okay, since Italy, the home of the empire, was so civilized, there was high culture, but the rest of Europe, it was tribes. There was no cities, no grand temples as they had. And the language was later spread to those Germanic tribes in part across Europe. And but the truth is, after that, the Western Empire fell, and even the Eastern Empire, which later was reformed to Byzantine Empire, the language of the Latin, it changed over time. The only ones that still be using it today is Catholic Church, or Vatican City is the only known place in the world that I know of that's still been using Latin. But otherwise in the world, Latin is considered as an extinct language. But it's not languages itself. It's not only that can be extinct. Dialects. Because okay, if you like say when you're talking to Lord, you can easily hear he has his Scottish accent, and each one of the countries in the world has some sort of dialect. I mean, over time, even though let's say English is the main language in some countries, but it can always have been evolved into some sub languages, which eventually would have some sort of or even regions. Let's say France. So many countries around the world, like say, well, yeah, that's true, Navi. Latin isn't really considering it as a mainly extinct, but isn't really much used around the world as we all know it. But if you're saying like French, it has two different. It has this European French, and then you have the Canadian French. Even though they sounds like it's similar, but they aren't. They're complete different languages. Even some words may sound very similar and almost identical to the French, European French, and this Canadian French. There are some words that may sound similar, but some of them had completely different pronouncements. And even Sweden has multiple different dialects, but some of them are actually near to being extinct. Some of them have only a few hundred people or a few thousands of people been talking. My country's language is not even close to being extinct. Otherwise, it's about almost nearly 11 million people. But if you ask, what about the main language, official language in the United States? It's not English, because the United States doesn't even have any official language.
Exactly. It doesn't technically have one.
But even though many considering English that's some official language, but the third most biggest is which is Spanish. Oh, April Riser, but I can understand what I can understand
Ben.
why. Here's the reason why Spanish could have been considering as this third biggest language in America, because during its time after America was found, after after the New World was discovered by Columbus, like half of the west part of the United States belonged to Spain. Like California belonged to Spain, and Texas belonged to Mexico at one point, and even part of it, like the Great Lakes, like Michigan, it belonged to French. Because you may think it took time. Even Alaska. Alaska has not always, since Alaska has not always been part of the United States. It was actually belonged to Russia. But then they bought it from Russia for many, many, many years ago. So the same thing is with Sweden. The same thing is with Sweden, though. We actually acquired some land part, or some our own part of Sweden used to belong to Denmark during the 16 to early 1700s, and eventually we bought it, or we actually got those part of the country from Denmark as a part of the peace treaty.
Sorry about that. Oh, hey, guys. I've just seen the recent. I know this is gonna be really weird, but I watched the first ever Lion King teaser trailer from 1993, and it just felt
Really?
so
You
damn.
just watched it?
Yeah, it just felt so damn beautiful, because you're
He
just
is,
showing. You're just showing the opening of the movie, and then it just cuts, and then it just shows the release date, and then that's it.
You mean that? Okay. Do you mean Disney's original Lion King?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
don't count. We don't count the live action remakes in this house.
I mean, okay. First, I can say this. I literally grew up watching. Okay, I never saw Lion King when it came out. If it came out in because when it came out in '93, I was just barely 3 years old. I probably saw that movie in the first Aladdin movie when I was probably 5, 6, maybe. And even I saw, okay, since the first three Star Wars movie that came out in the 70s and late 80s, I actually grew up watching those movies on VHS. But they were not. They were not in Swedish translation. They were texted, and I did. Okay, first, this was at the time before I could even read, and I didn't understand a single word in English at the time. But I still love to watch the original Star Wars movies. Have you guys been watching? Have any of you guys been seeing Bad Batch by any chance?
No. I haven't seen it. No.
Oh, yeah, I can say this. Star Wars Bad Batch is currently in the second season. Also, this season is gonna be the final one.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well, I'm
apparently
your
so.
local non-Star Wars fan, so
Yeah,
that's,
I'm not a Star Wars fan myself. I've got a friend at club who is
I
a Star
am.
Wars fan.
how many of you guys are Adventure Marvel fan?
not
I
I,
am.
said the fox. I didn't grow
No,
up with superheroes.
And both are Marvel and a
Uh,
DC fan.
I
I'm
I mean,
I've been a Spider-Man. I'm still a Spider-Man fan now. I'm only a fan of the original Spider-Man. You know, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. I'm not a fan of Tom
Mhm.
Holland. We don't speak about him because he fucking killed Spider-Man for me. Apologies for the
well, the
language,
main
but
saying this,
he killed my Spider-Man.
I mean, I grew up watching Marvel, um, and some adventures. And like, I mean, I did grow up watching the original Spider-Man, the cartoon series, and
Yeah.
and and I even grew up watching the first X-Men series from the late '90s. Okay, that one was completely different, and I loved one particular one, X-Men Evolution, that was shown on Cartoon Network. That one was completely different, and I actually missed if there's going to be a fifth season of the X-Men Evolution. It more likely have been a Dark Phoenix saga, meaning focused on when Jean turned into the Phoenix, and also another thing is, but they even when Dr. Charles Xavier, when he blinked his mind with Apocalypse, he could see in the future. Magneto, he actually became a teacher at the school.
Oh, are we talking about Bacon, first class?
Uh,
Are we talking
no,
about
no, no,
X-Men
no,
First
no,
Class?
no, 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 no. X-Men Evolution. It's a
Oh.
series that came out in the early 2000s.
Oh, because because when you were speaking about Magneto becoming a teacher, the first thing that comes into my mind is X-Men First Class, because I think
Yeah.
that was the first X-Men film I've ever watched as a
Okay,
kid.
first I can say this: those movies when the First Class,
They weren't
and
as good. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can say they weren't as good.
I mean, I can say this: the movies that I've seen from the First Class and the sequel, and I can when Apocalypse showed up in and Logan, and those movies,
They should have
they are
ended it with
terrible.
Logan, and I don't. No, you. Oh God, I can't
I
even
didn't-
say your real name.
I mean,
out
I
on
didn't
stream,
like
but
the
nah,
first.
Seriously,
I mean, I didn't
take that
like the.
back now.
I
Take that back now.
I don't like those movies, but the first one they made, X-Men
that's
1 and
terrible.
X-Men United and Last Stand, those three movies was actually even better, to be honest. Logan, though, well,
Oh, yeah.
Logan, it was kind of a bit, it's weird.
Oh.
There were actually, if you didn't know this, there were actually plans of making a sequel to Logan named Laura. They were only in the development after the movie, but after Fox bought the rights for some of it, and every dolls actually happened to be put on hold.
And then eventually been cancelled.
Yeah.
In a private meeting.
I mean, yeah, but I can say this: Laura, or X-23 as she is called, she did actually appear in X-Men Evolution, and even became an X-Men. She even had the metal claws, but only two, and she even had metal claws in her feet. Only one though. Yeah, and even suppose a the Deathstrike that Logan fought against in the second movie.
Yeah.
She was actually having her fingernails as this metal. Adamantium is a rare metal, apparently. I mean, I know that you guys, at least I know that Game Guy is not a fan of
Ta-da.
anime. Have you guys ever heard of Toward the Terra? It's an anime.
No, I haven't. Oh wait, Top of the
Ooh.
Terror? No, I haven't
Um,
seen the movie.
Actually, first, it's
Yeah.
this is a kind of the first anime movie was made in 1980. They even made an anime series in 2007. Okay, here's the thing. Toward Terra, I can read about some about it. It says the story takes place in a distant future, sometimes after for the first millennium, where humanity exists under the rule of a political order that every basically Earth is abandoned. Well, not entirely. There are only a select few caretakers that is taking care of Earth, since Earth has been so polluted and so much wars. And every single time, and here's the thing: Earth, the mainly humanity left Earth to colonize different planets into hope that one day the Earth will be restored. And here's the thing: each planet is controlled by a supercomputer known as by the government as superior dominance, or ST, meaning every single parent's or every birth is not natural. They have been grown in some sort of labs, and each child is given to foster parents. And when they turn 14, they will go through this type of adulthood test, where they will going through something called brainwashing, having all their 14 years memories of their parents and of their childhood being erased. But here's the thing: there is a new type of humans that have evolved called Mu. They have these psychic abilities. In the new version that has been from 2007, each one has a different colors in their type. Blue is the most superior one as a leader, and type green is like shield, and type yellow is I don't remember exactly, but type red is called suicide bombers. They can literally be using their abilities, but their bodies are weak. They're much weaker compared to most mainly humans. If you have been born as a Mu, you wouldn't have lived not for 100 years. You could have lived for maybe as 2 or maybe 300 years. Because they have a way much longer lifespan compared to most normal humans. And it turned out that back in just before the the government was even taking place, they discovered that Mu children was born. And there were a lot of debating if this was supposed to be the next step in humanity's evolution. So here's the thing: they could have been eradicated this gene so that they don't like that in from the beginning, but they decided to let it happen. But if any child that's turned out to be born as a Mu, they will be exterminated, no matter what. And it's a very cruel environment. And the first original leader for the Mu is called Soldier Blue. He was actually the first one of Type Blue, and he and his crew from the ship they live on, they were actually born on one of Jupiter's moons. They all wanted to go back to Earth, but none of them has never seen Earth or never been there. And at the time, they had no idea that they had ever been so close to Earth one time. And when they managed to go back to Earth, minus Soldier Blue, which died later on due to the fact of his advanced age. Even though he looked to be in his late 20s or maybe early 30s, but he was more than double that. He was more than perhaps almost 200 years old. And When the first Mew came to see Earth, they had hoped to see the blue and green, but instead they found it brown. Air toxic for pollutions. It was unbreathable air. But there were actually one place on Earth that was still breathable air, but was like a kind of resembles as a giant tree or a mushroom. Well, that is like in the future could happen if we continue to pollute our own planet. And I also heard a strange news in my country recently. The government is planning to perhaps put these sugar taxes or soda taxes, meaning soda like Coke, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, all that kinds of things will be more a little bit more expensive. Due to the fact they want people to be more healthier. But I can say this: a lot of drinks today is in fact with no sugar, like Coke, Pepsi, and Sprite, all that. There is at least a few that doesn't even have any sugar. And as I told my parents about this, that energy drinks like say Red Bull, Monster, none of those would never be included because they don't even count as soda. They are energy drinks, and soda are two different things. Like alcohol, like beer, vodka, or something like that, they're also separately. Since you guys some are Americans here, have you any okay, Game Guy? Do you know your country's history well enough?
Not really.
Okay. Do you know anything about Boston evolves tea?
Why would I?
Oh man. Okay, this was during the time of the 1770s, the time before America was declared themselves as independent. Boston Tea Party.
Oh no, yeah,
Yep.
I know that.
Yeah, that was like that's the basic story. Um, Britain, they wanted to expand some taxes in tea, and the Americans, the colonists, well, let's say they weren't happy about it. So they decided to rebel. And, you know, there is a lot of questions even today, not involving America, but this involves Ireland. There is some discussions that, or a lot of debating. There is independent movements. They want to have Ireland, that they want North Ireland to be not under British control anymore. They want Britain or United Kingdom to leave North Ireland and it became as a whole. Because North Ireland is the only left part of the island that still United Kingdom still controls. And even so, several years ago, Scotland, they tried to bring voting for general public voting to be its independent country. This was during the time of Brexit, meaning where United Kingdom were voting if they want to remain in European Union or if they want to leave. Well, it would have meant that if United Kingdom did eventually leave European Union, but Scotland, they wanted to vote so that they could remain within the European Union and still as an independent country. Unfortunately, there was a major no. And before the previous Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, he made it forbidden for Scotland to try again. He has been told them that they only will be allowed, but they had to wait one generation in order to be tried again. The same thing is for like California. Back in the early 2015 or 17, I think, they actually also want to leave United States to be as an independent country. And technically, if they would, California wouldn't suffer much. You know why?
Why?
Well, since first they have a huge population, since they had the biggest population in the entire United States, but they also have major airports, major ports, harbor, like San Francisco. They have huge industry, and that's the reason that they wouldn't be suffering much from as if they were leaving. But fortunately, it never happened. I mean, what if, like, say, let's say if Texas, if they wanted to choose to vote to be its independent country, it would, since they have been before. Well, in the early 1800s, for only a short time, when Texas were actually called Republic of Texas. They actually did have their own president also. I think it was during the 1840s. They even made their own currency and all that. But it's only for there wasn't for even 100 years. I think it was for only 10 or 20 years that Republic of Texas was existed. I mean, what if they decide to make every other? Okay, what if the 13 colonies decided to make this when they made us as independent country, which at the time that was the only land that existed. They had no idea how big the country were at the time, and they knew there were Native American tribes, and that's kind of cool if it'd been that. But they had actually made a deal with Native Americans when they approached, when they had moved west towards the Appalachian Mountains reach. They were not allowed to probably expand any further post of treaty. But I think the one pioneer, I think his name was Daniel Boone, or I think you probably heard about them, Game Guy. Have you heard of
say again?
any? Have you heard of any pioneer by the name Boone?
1 second.
He was a pioneer in colonization, and he was pushing further out west. And I did think he actually even was. I think it was in a Battle of Alamo and Parrish in it. I think it is, if I remember correctly, but it's long ago. Well,
Alright, yeah, I know him.
I should mention this. As most of you have already been noticed that I have been putting more non-fictional stories or more fictional stories on my channel for the past few days. I decided to take a break from that. Well, I actually made one just today. It's not about a stalker or anything. It is, let's say, is when two brothers encounter Chupacabra, aka the goat sucker, on Puerto Rico. I mean, it's a story, though. There's nothing like those stories are not based on anything, any real encounters. This is just completely something I made up. And from now on, I decided to only do stories that I think I should do. I know that many people had asked me to do these stories for the past few years, and I decided I'm only going to focus on the stories that I can think of for someone I can actually been doing. Even if Malachite asked me to do a story, or if Dashi asked me one, or if Kuvu asked me to do a story, I've only took I only say I can do them, but I don't say when. It's just my choice. And well, let's say since a lot of things has been happening in my family for the past several months, um, mainly something that I won't be mentioning exactly the reason in a stream, but let's say Game Guy is at least aware what it was.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was
I won't
well,
mention it,
yeah.
but
Let's say it's now had been at least almost finished with that all that stuff happening. So, which is a good thing. Other what else? Well, let's say I was a little bit pissed at the earliest week. Well, let's say that as evolved, my dad called me hopeless, and I was not worried. Took that kind. I didn't take that good, so I was. Well, let's say I was mad, but I didn't take that to happen. I let that came out later that same day. Um, let's say I wasn't happy though. I mean, that was like, and I even told my mom, who was on the phone with my sister at the time, that why would she had to be in had to be in gossip what I've been doing or been saying. And well, let's say my sister told me on Facebook the same thing, maybe the same evening about it, and I just well, let's say I just had a bad day and had a really bad headache at the time, so that makes it even worse. And so, yeah, that happens. But I did this. I can tell this. Even if I was if I would been pissed at from a scale 1 to 10, if I was like 10 or more, I wouldn't do anything physical. No whatsoever that. I wouldn't even fight. I may scream. I mean, really screaming otherwise. But I wouldn't even hit my parents or anything. And I don't call them the bad words. Like I never called none of my parents the B word. But it's just I mean, this is something that I had been experienced so many times I lost count. That when you really are building up so much anger inside of yourself, and one day when if you have an argument with someone, if it's a friend or a parent or anyone actually, and it's just even the slightest disagreement could eventually make you explode of anger, and that is the worst thing to do. You don't should not be built up. You shouldn't build up that much anger inside yourself. It's not a good thing. I mean, if you build up so much anger in your heart and in your soul, and it's not a good thing to do because you have no idea what the consequences can be afterwards. I mean, it could have been not only affect you if you have this around your parents or the whole family. It's like you have no idea what the consequences can be afterwards of that. So maybe as bad that I mean, let's say, what if let's say if Game Guy would have such bad conversation with any of his parents, and they could just like, well, pack it, grab the backpack, and leave. They can kick him out. And since he's 18, they don't have the obligation to keep him to let him stay there. They can kick him out at any time. The same thing is for Kuvu's mom and grandmother. They can kick him out. Is it the same for me? I am 32, and I have no. My parents have no obligation to keep me here. They can keep me out at any time. So it is the problem with that. So always make sure if you start to get angry, don't let it be going overboard. Usually, when I get angry, I just go to my bedroom. Either watch TV um or see the computer. I never do anything. I mean, I know that some people can actually be taken a bit too far by smashing things, like crashing like plates or break things. I may have done it when I was much younger, but now these days I don't. As my sister suggests, well, go outside, take a walk when you're so upset about something. I mean, I could. I can give one example. At a time at my old workplace, an old classmate of mine. I have been telling this story once, several times before, but anyways, I will bring it to brief. At a time when I was in my old workplace, I was pinning or something, um, and my old classmate just walked in, and we had a decent conversation at first, but I don't remember what we even talked about or what actually happened. But we started to have this argue about something, and it eventually was getting more heated. And my former supervisor, she was sitting maybe a 6 or 7 feet away from me. She was close. She could hear it. I was so freaking mad at this guy. I even stood up and walked up to him. Well, not directly towards him, but I was so mad. I was almost seeing so red in front of my eyes. But I didn't do anything with him. I just walked by him. I would just walked out of the guy, out of the door, and just went to a different part of this different of the in the building. I just decided to calm down. And when I came back, he was gone. Here's the reason why. Here's the what could have been happening if I did hurt him. Like seriously strangle him. I could have been charged for assault. If that would have made it a permanent crime record. And I could even have lost my job. Even though I wasn't officially hired as most of other people there, we were probably like 60 people total. But only 7 was finally firm official hired. Rest were volunteers or something like that. I could have been charged with assault if I had strangled my old classmate at my old work. But I really did that. I knew I couldn't even do that because I would have a criminal record, and I didn't want to have that happen. And even though he deserves has been punished or something for being a such jackass, but I didn't do anything. I just walked by him and walked out. And I came back, he was gone. And that is just showing how things could actually hurt being escalated if I stayed and if I did something. And I mean, I can have a short temper sometimes. That doesn't give me the right to just hurting anyone if I get so mad. No, it doesn't give anyone right. And I mean, for the past few years, when I get so mad, I can just walk into my own room, just close the door, watch TV, or be in a computer to calm down. When I was younger, I could have been more different personality. I could have been attacking. One time when I was in one time it was just me, my mom, and I think it was just me, my siblings, and my mom helped. Um, my sister, she locked out me on the balcony. Let's say I wanted to get in, but she refused to open it. So I smashed the window with my bare end. And well, let's say my parents they weren't happy about it. Well, that's pretty much what the other things happened. I'm pretty sure you guys have probably something similar in your life. You have been so mad at that someone or something, and that you wanted to do any harm to that person. If it was a toy or even a person that you classmate. I know that it's a normal, natural reaction to feel like it. But building up so much anger inside you is not a good thing. Because one day, when a slight thing just happened, it could explode inside you, and the consequences afterwards is unpredictable. It depends on where you are and how old you were. If you're just still at elementary school, you can maybe get stand in a corner, or maybe be sent out in the hallway, or if you're like in the ninth grade, or in if you're like from between say 13 or 16 or something, you can be given detention. If you're older, like say if you're in your 20s to your early 30s like me, and if you have a work, you can immediately be fired, and you could even perhaps even have a criminal record depending on the situation. And believe me, it's not like you want to have that. Kobo, what are you doing?
I'm just eating some crackers and some hummus.
Crackers. Kobo was a cracker. Eh.
Well, you're a cheese grater.
Well, it sounds like you're using the cheese grater right now, Colvo.
Kobo's an idiot.
Well, I can be at times,
Kobo's the last.
but other times I
There
can
we
be
go.
the smartest guy on earth.
Kobo is not a human. He's a big, big, big badger.
I thought you were gonna say a big beast.
Nope. You're a badger. You're a badger, if you know what that is.
Isn't that the
A
kind
honey
of
badger,
species
to
that
be
Bunga
specific.
is? Isn't a badger the kind of species that Bunga is in Lion God?
Kinda, I think.
Yeah,
Like I
he
say
is.
this. The badger, I mean, we do have a badger species in my country. It's black and white and big. I never seen any of those alive.
Can it be like a pet, or is it like a wild animal?
It's just a normal. I mean, badger.
Oh,
Badger. Yeah, those are the only ones I have seen has been a roadkill, meaning that's been hit by a car or something. Um,
ugh.
But there is one animal that don't exist in my country, or I don't think anywhere in Europe actually, which is what's it called again? Uh, the raccoon.
You don't have raccoons.
Nope. But I would call them nature's robber. I mean, that kind of looks like a cartoon version of a robber.
Well, if you could see one, would you take it home?
Not really. First of all, I mean, if I would, okay, the reason is why I can't just bring any raccoons to my country. It would have been bad, not just to me, but it would have been bad to my country's ecosystem.
Wait, really?
Oh yeah. If you bring a species that's not native to your country, it could have very devastating effects. I can say this. I have seen this border patrol at Australia. Anyone who brings something that's over from your other country, if you have any that's any berries as a part of a jewelry, anything that's a fruit or anything will have to be going through gamma radiation. Because any foreign bacteria or insect could have a devastating effect on the farming country, where it could have been causing Australia economic with billions. And having one species that's like, say, raccoon in my country, it would have been, well, let's say it's not a good thing at all. If I brought multiple, they will be multiplying. Okay, like the wild boar, they are usually not native in my country as from the start. I think they have been exploded hugely population. The wild boar in Sweden is about almost 500,000. That is the most. Even bears, we only had like almost maybe 2.5 to almost 3,000 bears in my country. And wolves, it's around 400. And wolverines, that is less. Maybe it's close to for between 2 or maybe between 2 and 400 total. Lynx, same thing. Every single major apex predator in the nature here will be hunted to keep the numbers down. If the wolves here reach the numbers as 400 to 500, they will start hunting them to keep the numbers from maybe as 300 or 200 at most. I can say this. There is one species. Let's see here. This is actually Arctic fox. You know what those are. Do you? Do you know Arctic fox is?
I think it's the ones that have like a white kind of fur.
Mm-hmm. Looks like a normal fox, but just it's white. Those is quite almost. Let's say this: in the early 2000s, there were only 50 adult pairs total in my country. If we had never had, if my country never had any some form of any species preserving program, they would have been merely extinct by now. But now, guess how many Arctic foxes there is in my country total right now?
Oh, but yeah, I guess more than 1 million.
Dude, not even 1 million. I mean, think about it. In 2000, it was only 50. I can say it is, and it is 23 years later. So,
100.
Game Guy, what do you? 100? Nope, more than that.
1,000?
100,000? No, not even.
No, I said 1,000.
Nope.
1,000.
Nope, not even close.
Oh.
It's way below that.
500.
Okay, so above 100 and under thousands.
You said 500?
Yeah.
Correct. It's 500. It's 500 total.
Wow.
Yeah. And you know, Arctic Fox is kind of reminds me of one Pokemon. And the Alolan Vulpix.
Well, I mean, usually Pokemons are kind of based off real animals, even though they are like special ones.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing about I learned about the Arctic Fox in my country. If one Arctic Fox family, if they made one den or one a hole in the ground where they live, that same hole would be used for several hundred years of the.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat. having one species of family of Arctic foxes using the same hole for the family for several hundred years.
Wow.
It's kind of cool. I mean, they're also known as white fox, polar fox, snow fox.
And I think
Um,
the Arctic fox also like they try to find their food under the snow, from what I heard.
mhm. Here's the thing. Um, Here's status in the world, which is no threatening. Um, um, okay. In Sweden, it is strongly threatened, but in Finland, it's kind of the same. Since this particular fox species does actually live both in Norway, Sweden, and Finland, and even Russia.
Hmm.
I think it lives in somewhere near Russia. But it's only white in the winter. It's like the hare or rabbit. There is one species that is white, or owls, which is also white. But how would you feel if there were? How would you feel if you saw an owl that was maybe between 4 or 5 feet long?
Firstly, that would surprise me, and secondly, I would be like, "Wow."
Uh-huh. Okay. How would you feel if you saw a spider that's maybe from the ground, maybe 4 feet tall, but in length, from if you count from one side of the legs to another one, is maybe 6 feet?
You mean like in Harry Potter in the second one?
Pretty much.
Well, actually, that would be kind of cool. I would want to ride it.
Dude, that depends. That depends if it's a venomous snake. Or it's not a spider. If it was a venomous spider.
But though, I would also love to have the basilisk as a pet. That would be awesome.
Dude, that's impossible.
I know
First-
there would be no space for him.
It also sounds like one of Aurora's bullshit pets.
No, a basilisk is actually a mythical creature which has been it's mainly run from Europe from ancient times. It's
No, I know what a
basically-
basilisk. I'm like it feels like something like a pet of Aurora would have made up.
well, true though. But here's the reason though, even if the basilisk was real, they were unlikely to be allowed. First, you would need to be talking, being able to talk to
Also, Tom.
yeah. And even like this, even in the second movie where Tom Riddle, or aka Lord Voldemort, returned from his diary, the basilisk, if Harry tried to talk to that, it wouldn't even listen. It only listened to Voldemort. And that snake was actually 1,000 years old when it died. And yeah, and even it's a time after Voldemort was dead, Harry lost his puzzle tongue ability, but it later came back though.
A long time ago, I actually tried to learn Puzzle Town, but it's kind of tricky.
And since there is, I don't think there is like any dictionary.
Nope, but you can find some apps that translate in Puzzle Town.
Oh, okay. I know it is a game, guys. Not a Star Trek fan or science fiction fan like that. But ever since the 1969, when the original Star Trek series came out, and in the later series, Klingon, the Klingon language actually had been. You can actually study and learn as an official language in America.
What?
Yeah, it's true.
That's kind of funny because in the Star Trek video game that I used to have, my character is kind of a Klingon, and so it's kind of funny that you mentioned that species.
Well,
Well, no, it's not a Klingon. He's kind of a feline kind of species, a humanoid feline species. I forgot the name of it.
Hmm.
But
Well-
he is in the planet of the Klingon, though.
well, to be honest, based on, okay, of all the Star Trek series, of all the movies and all that, there are many interesting species for sure. I mean, I have seen the original, the next generation of Star Trek. I've seen the original. I've seen several of others like Deep Space Nine, Enterprise, and even Voyager. I can say some of the most incredible series of the series. They have been. Turns out that there were one species of humanoids around 4.6 billion years ago. They were the first humanoid species that evolved. And when they even travel around the galaxy at some point, and they realize they also know that as a species, they probably don't want to be around for forever. So they decided to travel to countless of worlds like Vulcan, Klingon's homeworld, Kronos, which is kind of pronounce it, even Earth, and seeded the planet with DNA. In a way, so Klingons, Vulcans, Romulans, and many other humanoid species in Star Trek universe have one common ancestry, despite being completely different and even completely biologically way. Let's say
Yeah.
since humans, we are copper, like carbon based, but Vulcans and the Romulans, they're copper based. They're green blood. And
Yeah.
Klingons, they are carbon since they also have red blood. And considering, and even like this was in the early 60s, in the original series, they introduced this species called Horta, which was silicon-based life form. And that's incredible. Anyone that has a species that could be silicon-based, copper-based, sulfur-based, all that kind of things. It's just, I mean, if it was possible, if there were been discovered life on Venus, it's a highly likely chance it would have been sulfur-based life form. Considering it, the majority of Venus' atmosphere consists of sulfur, and I don't know if you noticed in my first space quiz I actually made, the question is, in which system of this the closest star, which has one confirmed planet, I can say there is not just one. Apparently, they have been confirmed to be 3 total planets in Alpha Centauri system, but only Proxima b, which were the first one, is habitable. The other 2, not much. They cannot be habitable at all. I think one is either considering as a super Earth or even or a mini Neptune, which
Hmm.
is considering. I mean, if we discover planets in that system, which is only 4 light years away from us, and well, yeah, that's probably about that. Has anything else happened for you guys today?
Not much.
Nothing really.
Just been doing
I
a
know-
few editions like always.
I know that Kuba has been drinking.
Well, I don't drink alcohol, unfortunately. I wish I could though, because I do like some of them, like rum and red wine. But
Ugh, red wine. Yeah. How can you even drink that stuff?
well,
Yes,
it's
a
super
word.
delicious.
Okay, and rum. Yeah, I can't say that since I never tried it.
You never tried rum?
Nope.
Wow.
Or whiskey or vodka.
What about cognac?
Not directly from the bottle itself, but in my country we have chocolate that can contain some cognac in it, but in a
Wait,
way, yeah, like a
Huh.
liquor.
Well, yeah, I think I tasted one of those when I was a children by mistake.
Yeah, I don't think I ever tried that, but honestly, I probably won't even try vodka, whiskey as much. But okay,
Though
bourbon.
I remember once that I bought at a candy shop. I bought like those candies that are alcohol flavor. So there's like rum, wine, beer, and all that as flavor candies. Those are delicious.
Okay. You guys are aware of this so-called Windigo or Skinwalker, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Well, I did mention this to Game Guy once before, but it was weeks ago. After one time, I did mention about the Skinwalkers in a stream. Let's say I actually had a dream where I encounter, um,
A Wendigo?
no, a Skinwalker.
Aren't they kind of the same?
Don't know, honestly. But okay, in this dream, I was walking along. I was actually walking in my town. I was walking past this area. It's kind of feeding grounds for sheeps in the summer. But for some reason, part of that, in front of it, there was like this small canal, and it actually had a small river dolphin in it. But the river dolphin was in a half decay body,
Ugh.
like skin was loose on it, and it's like looked at me and continued swimming. But as I looked in towards its, this was not like a park or anything. It was just a patch of land, but the sheep can be eating. And in front, only like a few feet in, I saw this normal, or so it looked like a normal moose or elk. It was like maybe half of more. It was like a half size, 1/2 times size bigger, and a normal size, like a half times bigger. And even part of this forest, it was like a playground, which doesn't even exist in real life though. But as I was walking up of a small hill, like I looked down. I saw this. I saw this. Looked like an elk or a moose, but it was standing on 2 legs, and it was probably 20 to 25 feet tall, and his horns was, I guess, maybe 10 feet long from his head, from each side of the head. I was like, whoa. And somehow I wasn't even scared or anything, but just like, whoa.
You fight it?
No, I just saw it. And here's
Oh.
another part of, and here's another funny thing is, as I was, okay, first I was walking up that hill, and suddenly I was in a car or a small van on top of it, and it was driving itself like a self-driving car. But when I was halfway up, it had a horse in front, and it was suddenly first from a self-driving car to a horse-powered car. That was weird. I mean, it did at first was this actually could drive itself at first. And then it had a horse in front of it and it was pulling the. I was like, okay, that is the weirdest dream. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was.
I had a few weird dreams myself.
I actually remember the one dream. I hadn't even told this one to anyone before. I was in ninth grade. But this is not a scary dream or anything. It's just surprising though. For some reason, I was outside a cave, and as I walked in, I end up at I was in the well, actually in real life I was in the ninth grade at the time, and as I walked in, and there was this bright light, and I was not in when I walked into the light, and suddenly I was at my school again. I was like, I was in a cave, middle of the forest or anywhere. But here's the thing: it was like a time portal or something, because at the time, in real life, two of my friends, girls, one actually had short hair at the time in real life, another one has shoulder length hair. But in this dream, the ones who had short hair, there was only to her shoulders, and the other one, her hair was perhaps almost half to her back in length. And I was like, "Whoa, did I miss something?" It turned out I wasn't even a student at this school anymore, because that was apparently a year later. So a time traveling portal in a cave transported me 1 year in the future. Kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have experienced a few good dreams, like this one time when I fought King Kong barehanded, which was kind of awesome to be honest, because it was kind of the one of those superhero style movie where like you punch each other and you just like go flying super far away. Like I remember, like I was literally in his island. Like it was like, what the fuck am I doing here? And then I just hear a roar behind me, and then I'll turn around and I'm like, well, looks like a good challenge. And then he starts punching me. I just go crashing through a mountain, and I get up like nothing happened. Like, meh, I see worse. And then I jump super far to him, and then I punch him in the face, and he goes flying like through, and he crashes through an entire village, like all the trees, all the houses, and everything, and then I just jumped from the freaking sky, and I landed on him on my feet, and I kind of made a hole with his kind of a form because I landed too hard on him, and that was kind of funny. Though it was kind of weird at the same time because when I woke up, I was like, "What the heck happened?"
You're weird. You know that?
Yeah, I know. I mean,
Nothing. I mean, I didn't speak. I never talking about a dream, but you were weird.
hey,
If real, okay, if real life, you would not be instinct a chance against them, not for a second.
Yeah, I know that, but since it was a dream, I knew I could do it. Like every time I see like a certain challenge in a dream, I'm gonna fight it. Like I remember fighting Superman and like all the superheroes that we know, and I remember fighting Thanos, like in a
Thanos?
dream with the Infinity Gauntlet. I was fighting him and all, using like super powerful powers and spells and
Mm.
all.
I wonder how it looks like. I wonder if you would have dream if you were fighting against um, Wonder Woman, Supergirl, or
Actually, I
even
wouldn't fight Supergirl, but I would do something else. But anyway,
Hmm. I think if Supergirl saw you, be like, nah, you're not my type. Bye.
hey,
You're
come on,
like,
don't say
she probably like, I'd probably say Poison Ivy for you instead.
poison.
I
I mean,
mean,
come on.
honestly, I've ever read. Okay, if I had to say, of all the female superheroes, I think Supergirl is one I would definitely be dating. I mean, if it's possible. I mean, saying that.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure most of the DC fans kind of want to be with Get Supergirl because I know she's one of the most like fantasized of DC. And don't ask me how I know that, but yes, I do know that.
You out there, because now I won't know what you said.
Great. Apparently, glitches are a thing again. Though I think the only nightmares that actually scare me, the only ones that actually does is when I see like this evil stuff of me in a mirror, and every fucking time he jumps out of the mirror to attack me. Like I remember in one of the dreams, he literally grabbed a stop sign and he ripped it off the ground and he stabbed me with its rod in the chest. I was like, "Oh shit!" Give me a moment, and then I just pulled it out like nothing happened, and then I was like, "Okay, let's go continue fighting."
Hmm. How would you sing this? How would you sing this? A female version of the penguin.
Ew, penguin. No,
Spider Girl.
Spider Girl. Maybe Smash. Wait, we're not playing Smash Apache. Fucking idiot. Oh,
No.
anyway.
I mean, depending on which one you're talking about, since in some previous comics of Marvel, where one Spider Girl was actually the daughter of Peter and MJ,
Oh, good.
Mary Jane. Well, I mean, Peter, he had to retire after half one of his legs was blown
Okay.
off.
What about She Venom?
She Venom?
Yep.
I would not say it since I never saw that movie. I haven't seen any of the Venom
What?
movies.
You never saw Venom?
Nope. And never will.
Why?
Don't like them. I mean,
Oh.
I saw Venom in the original Spider-Man movie series. I don't tell you, Venom is probably one of the worst characters in Spider-Man Marvel series. I mean, Venom and Carnage are like the same thing, but they're not even good character at all.
Yeah, I know.
It's based on my opinion. I think probably. I mean, Venom is probably in my opinion, is not one of the best characters. And when they made the movies where he became part of Eddie, yeah. Even though
Yeah.
I only saw probably clips from the movies, but I would never even watch it once see any of those.
Okay.
And-
What about Gamora?
Gamora, the Green Woman from God of the Galaxy.
Yeah, the daughter of Thanos.
Daughter. Not really. I haven't even seen any of those movies either. So
What? I thought you were a Marvel fan.
nope. Well, I kind of depends on which one.
Oh.
And it depends on from. I mean,
Because-
I never saw any of the adventure movies, so
That okay. Wow. Though, are you more of a DC fan or a Marvel fan? Because I'm kind of
uh,
in both, to be honest.
perhaps maybe DC. Perhaps I mean I do like Spider-Man, X-Men, Fantastic Four, the original, the one that made back in the early days.
You mean with a
Um,
silver thing? What's his name again? Silver Surfer, something like that.
before that one, though, I do wonder. Uh, Teenage Ninja Turtles. I wonder if that is Marvel or DC.
I think in Injustice 2, they actually put the Teenage Mutant Ninja in it.
Hmm.
Like you
Yeah, I
literally
mean,
see Raphael and Donatello and like even Michelangelo like fighting Batman and Superman and all that. Honestly, we kind of cool to see that in the movie, even though we
never
get
saw it.
wrecked. But anyway,
Yep, never saw that one.
did you see Batman versus Superman?
Maybe I'm not sure.
Wow.
Yeah, but I was saying this. A lot of the superheroes over the years that I've seen. Um, I mean, there's a lot of those. Many of those. I mean, there is one. Superman and Lois actually is having a baby. They later had a son, which um did had some powers, but they were weak. But they get stronger over time. But
Yeah.
this one is actually quite recently a show they made, only about I think maybe as a year or 2 years ago.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, what about Raven?
Teen Titans. I mean, from Teen Titans Go, then the new cartoon version they did like the reboot. Heck no.
Unless it kicked me out, which I wouldn't be shocked.
I mean, Teen Titans Go was probably the
Oh, wait.
worst version of the series.
You think?
But the
I
first,
can't hear anyone.
What?
Cool.
We-
Good. Great. Thanks, technology. One second.
You can't hear any of us.
but like I said, but the first Teen Titan cartoon show from the Cartoon Network, that Raven, not really much type. I would say maybe Starfire? Question mark. I mean, I never been much a fan of those. Okay, Batgirl. Barbara Gordon. No, 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 no. She might be cute in a character, but not. She's not my type. Otherwise, to be as been dating a. I mean, no. Catwoman. Mm-mm. Nope. Oh, I mean,
Oh,
except
I
for
would
if you would.
definitely do Catwoman
I
though.
mean, if I mean, could have been dating Catwoman. I mean, as long as she wasn't in her cat costume outfit, I probably would work. Otherwise,
I
can you
hate
hear us
technology.
good? Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys. Yeah.
Weird.
Hey, have you seen the Dark Knight movie series? Like with the Heath Ledger Joker and like Tom Hardy's Bane?
Never saw the one with the Bane. Dark Knight Rises. Is it the one that first when they sing? Bruce Wayne is traveling to Tibet, I believe. Let's see, try to martial art.
Oh, that's the first. That's Batman Begins with the.
Oh yeah,
What?
that one is. Yeah, Batman Begins is the only one I saw in that series, but the other ones, nope.
Oh, you should see them. Apparently, they're
No.
still to this day the best Batman movies.
Batman with the Bane in it. I mean, I've seen clips from it, and it sucks. And the one about the Joker, I will say, only say one word: tiring.
Well, it depends on what kind of brain you have, but anyway.
True. I mean, they made so many joke Batman movies over the years.
No,
Cartoon
if
version.
I do make it into movies, I definitely want to be Bane or maybe Joker, but like a stronger Joker because the current Joker is kind of a little bit weak. I have to say.
Oh, okay. I'll say this. How about this? How how will Joker? I mean, okay. What will happen to Joker if he actually got the venom inside himself?
Wait, I did
I mean,
this
okay,
in
this
an
is
Arkham game.
it is.
Yep,
Huh.
in one of the Arkham games, they actually gave Bane's venom right in Joker.
Huh.
He actually injected himself with it.
Never knew that. Since I never play the games. I will
Yeah.
be muted here for a little bit.
Oh, oh, oh.
He didn't mute himself.
He did, but he accidentally unmuted himself. Ugh. So, Guy Game, how are you?
Hey, that's Mr. Guy Game to you.
Gamey Boy. I was gonna say Game Boy, but that would be kind of tough. Because
That's
Game Boy is
Mr.
kinda
Game
big.
Boy to you.
What?
I said that's Mr. Game Boy to you.
Yeah, even though you're not a mister. Oh wait, actually you are. Never mind then. Today we're eating tija. That's gonna be delicious. Hi, gang guy, what's your favorite pizza?
Pepperoni.
Oh,
It's not very exciting, is it?
well, blah, 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 blah. I thought you were gonna say like all dressed, but I guess not.
Oh my god, I totally forgot. I renamed Walmart and spending too much on too little.
What?
I forgot I
What?
have this app that shows me where everyone is, and I completely forgot I renamed Walmart spending too much on too little.
Bruh.
It's really good.
Bruh.
Don't worry about it. I renamed Market Basket to their wallet's demise.
Ba-bum, ba-bum.
I'm also playing the game right now, and I'm about to fight a statue.
Wait, what?
I'm about to fight a statue.
You're about to find the Statue of Liberty? No.
No. It's the Statue of Blue Pretty. That's what it is.
I thought you said the Statue of Ludery. I was like, wait, what?
No.
That would be kind of. Ugh.
See, my ear hurts, but still it works better than yours.
Yeah. Somehow I always hear like the craziest thing, like even though it's far from that. I don't know why.
Yeah. And I wonder what Brony Dreamer is up to.
Apparently the last time he wrote he was hungry. Wait, hold on. There's something wrong in here.
What do you mean?
So Brony kinda commented before you, and it says it's like at 16:05, and like at 5 p.m. And when you commented, it says it's 4:03.
Does it actually say that?
Yes, like it's like Brody commented in like 4.5 hour, and when you commented, it was after him, but it says it's 4:03.
That is really weird. I made that comment 2 minutes in the future.
Bro, you
I did it.
You went through
I did it. I managed to time travel for like 2 minutes.
that would be kind of neat to actually be able to time travel, even
I
though
went
there's
to the future. I went to the future. I'm 2 minutes ahead of everyone.
It would be kind of neat though to be able to go in the future and past, but I know that if you go into the past, you must change absolutely nothing, or else you're screwed.
Now, see, Swedish made a point about this, and I kind of agree. I don't like the fact that, or I don't know if it was Swedish. I'm pretty sure it was. I kind of agree. I don't like stories where it's like you can change the past, because it's like,
Really?
I guess realistically that makes sense, but it's also like the past already happened.
Yeah,
that
but
make
if you
sense?
can
Like,
go
it's like-
back in the past, but I was gonna say, if you can actually go back in the past, then you do kind of can change it theoretically.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense that you'd be able to, but time travel is really
from what
weird.
I've heard from the movies and what I saw, apparently it's a really bad idea.
My thing is, normally the time travel movies are always the same. It's like, go back in the past, something changes, and you have to make it so it doesn't change.
Yeah.
Why can't it
Kinda
ever
like-
be? Why can't it ever be something different? Why can't it ever be like, if you do something in the past, it doesn't affect the future? Or how about the reverse? How about instead of it being you're changing the past and it's messing up the future, how about you mess with the future and it messes with the past?
That would be kind of funny.
Do the old swap. I feel like it'd be more interesting to see if the future got messed up and then it messes up the
Yeah.
past.
Huh.
Or like the
As
present
the
or
future
whatever.
always will. Yeah, if Google was in the future, I'd say this Earth doesn't even have a future.
Why? You think I'm gonna take it over? Wait, I shouldn't say that.
No, take over, but you probably would have destroyed Earth into pieces. And if
Well-
that happens, I would like people. You probably would have execute. You probably have to eradicate Kubo before that happens.
Well, I mean, if I actually get powers in the future, I probably could do that, but I would probably not stay on Earth if I
But you
did
won't?
that. No, I won't actually. But
Okay, if that happened,
Yeah,
I would
because
put-
powers don't exist.
But if one day someone like creates like a certain kind of gadget that gives you superpowers, like it connects to
Or
your
natural. Or
Like it-
natural way.
yeah, hold on. Like it gives like you put it in your brain, like it gives you like the ability that you think of, and like you can do absolutely everything you imagine. Well, that would be kind of cool.
I would immediately do one thing. I would put him in a dimensional pocket prison for the rest of his eternal life. And also that space will be that he will remain immortal as long as he will be there. If he inside that pocket for say 300 years and he will live, turn to the dust in a second. I
Wow.
would do that. I would do that, and I would put Game Guy in one dimension where games all the time. Okay, like I said, this some people assuming believes that we are actually not in that our lives, the whole universe, the whole planet is a computer simulation by some higher power beings.
Kind of like in the Matrix.
In a way, yeah. But I doubt it.
Though I don't know. It's the one thing though, because the Matrix. It seems like you have to use your imagination for the things to happen, and it kind of reminds me of like lucid dreaming, because when you do that, you can actually use your imagination to like help yourself. Like help
Oh.
you can even fight your own nightmares with your imagination when you get into a certain level.
Well, technically, it's in the Matrix. You're not the one that's controlling this dream world. It's computerized. Since the humans, they are not aware what they are. Since those humans actually is living batteries for the machines. I mean, in the timeline of the Matrix, in early days, there were this judgment against robots, and they built their own city, what they call 001.
Hmm.
And humanity, they wanted to stop these robots from taking over, so they made one particular military operation, meaning to block out the sunlight, since the robots had sunlight as the main power source. But the robots decided they managed to stop them only temporarily, but then they used humans as a power source. And after that, they bombed United Nations headquarters. And from that day on, humanity lost the war and it became batteries, the power source for machines. What's happening over there? Game Guy.
It's not coming from my end.
It's probably Kubo's.
Yeah. I think my mic's being a little weird. So that's just great.
Why? And
Good
what do you
question.
mean?
My mic is being
I'm-
weird.
In what way?
It keeps cutting me off, I think.
That's weird. Kubo. Still there?
I think he went to go explore whatever made that noise.
No, that's surprising.
And now it sounds like he's ripping apart something. Koval, what are you doing? You can't rip apart your legal document of your insanity that easily, you know.
He doesn't even have a sanity.
whatever. Exactly. That's his legal document saying he doesn't have any. Ripped it apart. Or something like that. I don't know what the heck he's doing. So anyway, how's the day been going, Swedish?
Kind of good enough. I haven't done much today. Just watched some TV. Been at the computer. Took a walk. Not much.
Sounds like he's back. That's what it sounds like. That might not actually be the truth, though. And it looks like I was wrong. Cool. Or maybe not. What just happened?
I
Oh,
went
no.
to clean my stuff a little bit.
Wow, it's already been an hour 45. Look at that.
So, Kova, what you been up to today?
Oh, not much. Just editing, doing a few videos. Oh no, I did that yesterday. Well, like usual.
Looking at
Yeah.
porn. Internet is for porn.
Nah, I do it. I did it earlier when we were streaming. Oh wait, I didn't see that.
That's Kovo.
What?
Kovo.
What?
What are you doing?
I'm
What
drinking apple juice.
are you doing?
I'm drinking apple cider.
That. Yeah. All right. Good thing I asked because I definitely thought it was something else.
No, I was not doing that
That does not sound like any apple cider I've ever drinking.
because I have to shake it before drinking. Wait. Oh god.
You what? Wow, I took that out of context. Cool. Thanks, Kobo. Oh my god, why? Reword that.
Well, I can't reword it. It's said like
Already
you said.
been said.
I had to shake it before I drink it.
I'm totally into the wrong mindset. This is me being awake for like 5 hours.
Oh.
So while Kovu's definitely shaking that apple cider that he clearly has, What do you guys want to talk
Yep.
about?
I'm drinking Applejack's apple cider. Oh wait.
Bob won today.
Yep.
This stream was brought to you by Applejack's Apple Cider, because clearly that's
That
something
would be
that
cool.
should be a thing. Get it today.
Also, wait. I think I saw something about that. Let me just see if I can find it.
Get your cider today.
hmm,
Guaranteed to make you question your taste buds' authenticity.
Okay, please tell me it's still there. I have to show that.
Trademarked. Or your money back.
Oh, here it is. Okay, hold up. Come on. Okay,
Or you get your 2 cents
Yep.
that you paid back.
come on. Click
Yes,
on it. Thank you.
Yep, it's clear. Kuva lost his mind.
Actually, I did not yet.
Because
Yes.
he didn't have in mind. Because
You
his,
haven't done it yet.
I
Give it
was
5
gonna
seconds.
say that.
because his skull is completely empty. There is no brain. Oh wait, it's the size of a peanut.
Well, considering I knocked my head a lot of times in my young days, it's kind of normal.
Too much banging. I mean, against
Well,
the
I
door
mean-
walls.
Well, I mean, I do remember that once in one of my friends' house, my friend's house, I like tripped on something and like I knocked my head, the back of my head against the wall. It was kind of cracked. So that might be one of the reasons.
Makes sense. Yep, it makes sense. You're an idiot.
Topher's reality goes down. It's that negative. Is that negative? What's the number for 18 zeros again?
I don't know.
What are you talking about, bro?
Your
Kuva has a
reality
negative-
went down.
Kuva is
No,
the IQ. He has an IQ of negative 1 billion.
Please. I
Well,
have
my
the brain of
IQ
Einstein.
Bull crap, dude. Bullshit.
That we're gonna need though.
I believe the
Also,
first one see it.
also, I just have to show you this. Wait, hold up. Come on, you piece of. Okay. Okay, hold up. It's loading. It's loading. 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 There we go.
So, any plans for the weekend? Rainbow Dash Fizzy Sherry. Yeah, I can't see the last part.
It's kind of soda,
I got
but
this.
it's
Thanks, technology. Rainbow Dash Fizzy Cherry Spray flavored
soda.
cider, I think is what that says. Soda.
No, it's
Alright.
soda. It's a soda.
I definitely thought that said cider. Cool.
No, that's like it's like Pepsi, but like Rainbow Dash style.
Huh.
Well, to be fair, I even have Monster Energy drinks in my room, in a drawer.
Also, I
let's
just
see
realized-
what the flavor. Let's see what
Also, I
flavor it
just
is.
Also, I just
One
realized how
is-
out of context sounding that name is, because fizzy cherry spray. Remember, that's a fizzy cherry spray. Kind of sounds a little out of context, to be honest.
Monster Energy Ultra. It's a white bottle. And the second one is Monster Energy Ultra Fiesta Mango. I mean, I like mango. It's a good flavor.
I mean, I remember. I remember once trying mango, Well, it is kind of good, but it's kind of tricky to cut, though.
Yeah, due to the fact that it has a big core in it. Duh. It's like avocado, which has a big core.
I remember I tried to eat it like an apple because I thought the thing on it was like eatable too, but apparently not.
Excuse me. Well, I mean, mango is good fruit. All of it.
But mango juice is kind of, to me, it tastes like pepper. You know, like black pepper. So it it kind of tastes like if someone put like black pepper in like the juice instead of that. But anyway, it might just be me.
Hmm.
Wait, hold on. Okay, let's see if there is actually. Okay, no. What the? Okay, no.
Google is a big fat ass.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
I'm just kidding, dude.
I know. I mean, I do agree, but I am kind of thick to be honest. But yeah. Anyway.
Well, I can say this. Cuba is so greedy as Ebenezer Scrooge. Oh,
Okay. Whoa. No.
Right.
No. Huh. Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh boy, that's been so long since I posted that on G Plus. Oh my god. Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Come on, find it, please. Find it. I need to see it. I want to see it again. It was too well done. Come on, you filthy. Oh my god, my Chromebook does not like that. It's lagging us all hell.
I don't think it likes you at all. I don't think anyone would like you.
But wow, thanks.
What the heck did I just get back to?
Me getting murdered by Swedish apparently.
Yeah, I told him that there's no. I told him there's no one that likes him.
That might be going a little too far, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm used to it. It's okay.
Anyway, I finally found out what the origin of my ear pain's been.
What?
Apparently,
cockroach?
it's some kind. Apparently, it's some kind. It was some kind of like bug bite or something like that. Some bit my ear.
Other than that, or having a cockroach in your ear.
No.
Some people actually have been discover to having a live cockroach in your ear?
You.
I'm about to eat, so nothing gross.
How about how about a fried chocolate covered cockroach as dessert?
Well, I know Lewis wouldn't hate that, but
Wait, what?
Or his cousin?
you don't know about him. I definitely told you about him before, but
Yeah, I know about him, but I didn't know he actually ate those kind of things.
he'll eat anything. So
Well, except for one thing, metal.
well,
I mean,
yeah, metal's one thing that he won't eat.
because you can't chew in it. It's impossible. And glass. Glass is no.
He also doesn't eat, humans.
Or steel.
Unless one
He
day.
eats a lot.
perhaps.
He's a lot of things, but he's not a cannibal.
So can you imagine someone actually chewing on a metal bar, but like it actually works?
Oh, dude, that kind of reminds me of one thing that, well, happened to my dad when he was younger.
Wait, what?
Well, something still completely different. But, that reminds me of a story that my dad told me when he was way younger, probably in his teenage years, something like it was. It was one summer he was wanted to take a leak, as in a perspective, take a piss, and he was peeing against some bushes. Oh boy! And what he didn't know, behind the bushes was a fence, electric fence, and yeah, let's say that electric shock it traveled you in the it traveled in the in the piss and shocked him.
Oh god.
Yeah, I like it though. There was this type of electric fence where you have sheep or cows behind, so luckily it wasn't even that dangerous. That is kind of a wake up call. So if you
Oh,
want to
come
take,
on.
so guys, if you want to take a leak in the by any on the countryside, make sure there's no electric fence behind it.
Ah.
That's it will only painful you. Not like it's gonna be in any serious um it wouldn't be in much any serious condition afterwards, but just it will only shock you, only a mild shock, but nothing that will be any permanently hurt you. I
Definitely.
mean, okay, it's like okay, you can actually take a piece of grass, uh, and put it against the electric fence, like those whenever if you keep cattle. You can actually feel not you don't get the entire shock in your hand, but you can actually feel almost the vibration in the fence in the grass straw in your hand. You get a slight shock in your hand, but nothing much. It's not any dangerous. It's just it will be if it okay. It's like if you were rubbing a balloon against say against your hair and get a static shock from that. It's kind of like that. It's nothing much any serious, but so what you do, never take a piss against a bushes that if there's look first if there's any electric fence behind it. Otherwise, like don't do this. My dad did when he was younger. Oh, that's yeah, shocking. But yeah, it's like you don't want to do
Did you
that.
really have to do that? Did you really have to do that pun?
I mean, like though, even it's like it's nothing will be any dangers affecting you. It will only be a slight shock. But It's it's like in Jurassic Park, the first movie when that type of fence. If a human would if you would have piss on that fence, oh yeah, you would be definitely dead because that one has 10,000 volts, which is huge amounts. That even by touching it, yeah, you would be dead because
Yeah.
I mean, okay, when I was in like eighth grade, no, second grade, an old a classmate of mine, he wanted to pin. He took. It looked like a. You know, like in a car, when you have this gauger that's measure like speed.
Yeah.
He took one something that it kind of looked similar, but has two cables, two wires,
Uh
and
oh.
he wanted to put that directly in an outlet in a wall.
That would have been bad.
Oh yeah, it would have been. So luckily though, the teacher stopped him. That would have been. Oh, I don't know what's it do. Well, I
Can
don't
you
even
imagine
know.
if you did that on the teacher though?
If the teacher didn't saw it happen, um,
No, I mean
but
like if he actually used the wires on the teacher.
oh, well, that would have been difficult because the wires was used. They weren't even that long. It was probably 3 inches long each. So, and they were only, but um, let's say if it was long enough, and if she was standing right behind them, um, first, I don't even know how many electric volts there is actually in a wall outlet. I don't even know how many volts there is,
Yeah.
but I do know that in certain bathrooms in like hotels, there is this outlet that you can put your electric uh, razor in it, or a shaving machine, which has 110 volts. If you
Oof.
would if you would even get one slight shock of 110 volts, it can be dangerous.
Yeah.
It can make your heart skip a beat, and it could, well, let's say it could give you a heart attack.
Whoa. Oh, that reminds me something that happened a while ago. I think it was like in 2016, where me and like a bunch of friends went like to a lake and like we were like we were like swimming and all that, and then I just see like a lightning just just hit the ground super close to where we were, like it was next to
Hmm.
us. That would have been bad. Like we
Oh
were
yeah,
like two of us were out of the water, but I was like it was almost next to me. That's how close it was. And I was
yeah.
like,
And
okay, that's
here's
dangerous.
another here's another thing. When it starts lightning, you don't stand under a tree whatsoever.
Yeah, I know that because the tree can fall and burn.
Hmm. And some people say cars is the best option otherwise to stand away from the being lightning. Um, according to my dad, um, that's he doesn't think cars will give you much protection anymore from the lightning.
Yeah,
Since I mean, if you think cars from the let's say cars from the 70s to the like early 2000s, they were made of metal roof, but cars today aren't much as that much anymore. They're all like more as carbon fiber type of cars,
yeah,
and that okay. Well, first of all, plastic is it's not conducting to the lightning. As but I think maybe. I mean, I remember when I was in eighth grade when you have this physics classes, we were allowed to be testing. We were given this list of materials that we were tested to be that could be conductive of electricity, like say rubber or plastic or wood, stone, or glass. It's just it's surprising how that you mean surprising it's surprising what you can actually learn from a simple experiments like that.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Oh.
it's even like the world's first official, well, unofficial battery it wasn't invented in the modern times. The first days of pulse in a battery was invented in Iraq thousands of years ago. And here's one thing: there were this type of pillar that was found in India, and this is the strangest thing. This pillar is made of almost 98% pure iron. But the thing is, pillar is over 1,000 years old, and there's no signs of any rust on this pillar. And this is not like stainless steel. And the thing is, the metal, like I said, this was made of iron, 98% pure. And we managed to, in Europe, we managed to produce almost pure iron into late 1800s. So how is it even possible for someone in India in over 1,000 years ago, even more, that built and made a pillar, almost pure, 98% pure iron? That wasn't, and that the same process was even developed in Europe, like for over in the late 1800s. How is that even possible? And no signs of any rust anywhere. That's a big mystery, and no one knows exactly how it's even possible. Just think about that. And I mean, there is still mysteries in this world that we have as yet found any answer. Like say, I mean, evolving like say, some of the most ancient advanced high cultures like the Mayan or Incas or the Minoans from the Crete. No one knows exactly what happened at their culture, and what since the Minoans culture did had a writing system, and no one has yet, as far as yet, haven't been unable to translate it, and no one knows exactly what it says, and it's like the Mayans ring language. The written language is hieroglyphs. We don't understand 100% of that language either. Maybe I would say perhaps 70 or maybe 80%. There's still a part of it that we don't understand. And the Incas from the Inca Empire, they didn't have any writings. They didn't have a written language. They never wrote down their language. But they have this different. They had this type of system that they made. They use ropes and knots. The knots is each in a specific in a special pattern with meaning something. But after their empire vanished in the late 1500s, no one knows exactly what that language, what are those knots even were meaning. Since they know their future descendants, even there were any Inca survivors, they would not even, and if without their empire around anymore, no one knows exactly what that particular language or those robes stand for. And there are a lot of speculations exactly what if they can be for counting math or something. No one knows. And no one knows. I mean, the Aztecs and the Mayans, they were experts within mathematics, astronomy, and even construction. The Mayans, they were among the first people in the New World to invent the number zero. And
Hmm.
that's incredible. And
Yeah.
zero, it didn't came to Europe way later, much later.
Hmm.
It's incredible how that thing's just invented. It's like, I mean, even the writing system. The Sumerians were the first culture in the world to make writings. There were only the main use was to simply to maintain inventory of food and people. But eventually, it became another one that involves with writing down their legends, stories, and eventually that practice of writing it became well spread. Ancient Egypt had their own version. The Mayans had their own version. The Vikings had the runes, the runic language, and oh, how about that? Um, Norway claimed that they found the world's oldest runestone, and guess how old that is? Any idea?
Nope.
2,000 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. Here's the one thing. Um, there were one runestone in Sweden that was discovered in sometimes in the 1600s, but funny thing is that particular runestone vanished for 300 years until it was discovered by a professor and his students by accident. And that's surprising. Hey, Jerry. Hello. Yeah, this. I mean, yeah, so, I mean, I know that Vikings have been to North America, which is confirmed, but they didn't stay there for long periods, unfortunately. I mostly think that the Native Americans they were not friendly towards the newcomers, but that happens. Game guy, still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Well, I think probably it's time to me to end the stream soon. Anyways, has been 2 hours and 13 minutes. Oh, I wonder the next game show stream will be. Give me a second here. I made to say probably February 10 or 11, perhaps. But right now, I just don't know. So, yeah, I think it's probably end the time to end here. Google, still there? Google the bananas,
Yeah.
still there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I decided to end here. So,
All right.
well, this has been, at least one relaxing stream for once. Not much, a lot of insanity, drama actions. Yeah, that is just well,
Yeah.
unless a Kuvo, king of drama.
What? I never do drama.
And game guy is he is clearly the drama queen.
I don't
The
think you
only
guys
ever,
are kind
the only
of
other,
guy
the
that
only
do
drama
any
I've ever been a part of
thing.
is the Aurora one, and I'd rather forget it.
Yeah.
So, technically, but whatever.
Well, I've decided to end here. So Well, it has been fun. Let's see what happens tomorrow. So, this has been Swift Diablo with Kubo the Bad Boy, Game Guy, and Brony the Dreamer. Bye.
And don't forget, stay covalicious.
I'm not exactly sure what that means.
Me either.
And
See
goodbye.
ya.